Esports, they've already done first dead, and they'll do MSI as well.
That's it. Hanwha Life Esports are your 2026 MSI champions. They delivered when it mattered most, fighting back through the lower bracket before taking down BLG in an unforgettable Game 5 to claim the organization's first ever MSI title and the LCK's fifth. But how does this run stack up against the greatest MSI title runs in history? I'm Jatt. I was a pro player, a coach, and now a broadcast analyst for the LCS. Join me as we look back at every MSI winner in history, rank them all, and decide together where does HLE's 2026 title land among them. Let's get started with where it all began. The first MSI was held in Tallahassee, Florida, and looked very little like the MSIs we see today. The whole tournament took place over 4 days and featured 6 teams competing in a single round-robin best-of-1 group stage, which seeded a 4-team single-elimination playoff bracket.
10 points to Dumbledore's first blood!
That said, the first MSI had perhaps the most memorable finals ever. EDG was a super team that brought over world champion Pawn alongside Deft from Korea, teaming up with the LPL jungle GOAT Clearlove, top laner Cora1, and a rookie support you may have heard of, Mako. SKT and EDG faced off as the two favorites and the top 2 teams from groups. SKT, running a 6-man roster with Faker and EasyHoon, were heavy favorites. Korea had dominated the previous 2 world championships, and SKT had never lost an international best-of-5. The championship came down to Game 5, where EDG left LeBlanc unbanned for the first time all series. Shocking, considering Faker had never lost on the pick.
He locks it in!
EDG had the perfect answer. Pawn counterpicked with Morgana mid, and Clearlove brought out Evelynn jungle for the first time all tournament.
Here comes SK Telecom. Bengi not there for the 50-50. Baron going very low at 1,500. It is going to go over to Clearlove. Down goes Faker. They take down Faker immediately. EDG could have eyes on the base. Marin's going to be a distraction, but he's going down very fast, even as Meganar. Now trying to keep them from being extinct in the Mid-Season Invitational. Here's the last engage. EDG doesn't even see the turrets. Eyes on SKT. SK Telecom T1 are wiped. The Nexus turrets are going down.
This catapulted the LPL up in the global power rankings heading into Worlds, even if they immediately fell flat and didn't win another international title until 2018. Since this was the first MSI, it goes into first for now, but we'll see how long that lasts. MSI 2016 moved to Shanghai and featured an expanded format. Still 6 teams, but now with a double round-robin best-of-1 group stage, followed by the 4-team best-of-5 bracket. SKT came into MSI 2016 fresh off their 2015 Worlds win. Still the team to beat, they were looking for redemption after falling short at MSI the year before. They had swapped Bengi for Blank and Marin for Duke, while Faker, Bang, and Wolf remained on the roster. SKT struggled early, at one point dropping 4 games in a row and finishing 4th in the group stage. But in the bracket stage, they were dominant. A 3-1 over LPL's RNG, including a perfect game to close the series, followed by a 3-0 over CLG in the finals. Because of the expanded format, dominant bracket stage, and the team's legacy, I'm placing 2016 SKT above 2015 EDG in these rankings. And as you may know, SKT was not done yet. In 2017, SKT once again entered as heavy favorites. With Huni and Peanut joining the roster, the question wasn't if they would win, but how dominant they would be. Simply put, their aura was off the charts. They finished first in groups, dropping 1 game to Flash Wolves and another to Team WE after first place had already been secured.
Wolf goes down now. This is how we saw G2 taking a hit in the last game, but the damage that Huni can do, the damage that Peanut is providing from that back line is now all on the front line, and Faker hops in now onto Hanser.
In the knockout stage, they swept Flash Wolves before facing G2, who had surprisingly knocked out Team WE from the LPL in the other semifinal. G2 took 1 game, but the result was never really in doubt. SKT secured their 4th consecutive international title, completing what is still the most dominant international streak in league history. Worlds 2015, MSI 2016, Worlds 2016, and MSI 2017. That said, their path was not the hardest. SKT avoided the LPL in the bracket stage completely, which did make their run slightly easier. So for now, it lands in 3rd. If SKT felt inevitable, 2018 was the exact opposite. Kingzone Dragon X entered as favorites, continuing the LCK's dominance over the LPL. That made RNG and Uzi winning in the finals feel even bigger. To this day, I've never seen a team play more around a single player. Nearly every composition RNG played was built around enabling Uzi. Frontline, setup, and protection. In the mid-game, they constantly set the map up for him to farm everything possible. Across the tournament, he averaged nearly 12 CS per minute, and the defining moment came in Game 4 of the finals, where RNG came back from a 7,000 gold deficit. Uzi was not just the carry. He also made the deciding call, tracking the enemy AD carry's QSS cooldown and calling for the final engage.
他们还没有水银呢，还没有水银，还差10秒。哎，中路我们要看一波吗？对，我觉得接本。
Oh, that's straight onto play! Call of the Forge God comes out as well as Killer Instinct. Royal never give up on doing it. They get a double kill on Uzi. They're looking for the tower.
All game with eyes on Gorilla, and RNG spent everything to finally hit him first.
It capped off his first and only international win. And that's part of why this win is so memorable to me. I do not think this was the optimal way to play League, but being there and watching Uzi win anyway, it is still the best ADC performance I have ever seen. It also mattered historically. After this win, the LPL went on to win the next 2 World Championships. Given Uzi's dominance and the significance of the result, RNG takes #1, surpassing 2016 SKT. This MSI arguably had the most unique result in history, marking the only time a non-LCK or LPL team won the tournament.
Nice juke by Cath, but will be hit a little bit. Nice double stun comes in. Ult comes in as well. He's got a lot of a playground to play around with. They find that first stun. They find some damage, but Ignite means he will get the solo kill, the 1v2. And Caps tries it for Jensen. And here comes Mickey.
G2 beat Team Liquid 3-0 in the fastest international finals ever, showing everyone what peak League of Legends could look like. And it comes
from Europe.
But the journey was anything but peak. They went 5-5 in groups, dropping games to both IG and Fengvu Buffalo. The final standings looked fairly standard, with IG at 9-1 and SKT at 7-3, while G2 and TL rounded out the bracket teams. Then, the semifinals completely changed the tournament. TL upset defending world champions IG 3-1, and G2 took down Faker and SKT 3-2. This MSI was defined by flex picks, and nobody flexed better than G2. Ryze, Silas, Akali, and Aurelia, you never knew where they were going. If Nico, Pyke, or Syndra were locked in, same problem. In the 2019 season, G2 won with Pyke in all 5 roles. They were possibly the most difficult team to draft against in League history. So wherever this MSI ends up in the rankings, it's going to be controversial. They had the worst group stage of any MSI winner ever, but one of the highest peaks. And from a Western lens, this was peak League of Legends. And this roster is still the greatest Western team ever. That is why this one is so difficult. And it's going to land in the middle. 2021 was when Xiaohu, who had won with RNG in 2018 as a mid laner, had role swapped and quickly became one of the best top laners in the LPL. RNG went 8-0 in groups, then faltered to C9, MAD, and PSG in the Rumble stage, but they still handed Damwon both of their losses. In the bracket stage, they defeated PSG 3-1 and then Damwon in a back-and-forth 5-game final. It was a strange series though, with RNG taking Udyr jungle in all 5 games before closing it out with mid lane Nocturne.
Showmaker's already here. Where's the accelerated shock blast? It goes through, but it goes wide. Chains of Corruption find the enemy jungler. Wei is on the run, but Nocturne has found his way into the back line. A nice exhaust coming out, keeps crying for being able to find the kill, and the enemy AD carry Devour coming out now.
And Gala took home the MVP for his solid team fighting.
Gala going in! Gala, man, he's already in the back line with a Guardian Angel.
And Xiaohu became the first player to win MSI from multiple roles. It was a strange tournament though. No crowd in Iceland, heavy emphasis on best of 1, and a drawn-out format. So this goes in the bottom for now. 2022 kept the same format, but added another complication. RNG competed remotely from China, forcing all teams onto artificial ping when playing versus the LPL. RNG had brought in Bin top lane, while Xiaohu returned to mid. The tournament was largely dominated by RNG and T1, whose combined record against the rest of the field was 31-3.
Faker looks for the jump to get out to Xiaohu, but Xiaohu has the frozen to get out of it. Owner in the backline with the Cyclone trying to do what he can, but Ming with a 4-man charm. Kemir dives off, but in goes Wei. The kick back onto Zeus. RNG just sweep the floor with T1.
RNG won the finals in 5 games with a one-sided Game 5, and Wei took home MVP. Despite back-to-back titles for RNG, neither run had much lasting impact in my opinion. The 2021 run was without a crowd, 2022 was half remote, and the format still felt drawn out. That said, this win has aged well. because of who RNG beat. That Zeus, owner, faker, Gumayusi, and carrier version of T1 went on to become the most accomplished roster of all time. I still have both of these RNG wins near the bottom, but 2022 has aged better than 2021. Beating that T1 roster looks better every year. 2023 introduced a major format shift. Gone was the 6-team double round robin best of 1 group stage, and in came a full 8-team double elimination best of 5 bracket. It was also the first year LCK and LPL sent their top 2 seeds rather than just their champions, which made the field considerably stronger. Gen.G ran through the bracket without dropping to the lower side, beating Golden Guardians, then BLG, T1, and BLG again. And Gen.G felt inevitable. Strong laning, clean scaling, and extremely coordinated team fighting. Watching them at MSI, it felt like no matter what, Ruler and Knight would be able to win lane and scale for late game team fights. Their closest series was a 5-game win over T1 in the upper bracket semifinal.
As now Ruler has to deal with him. Ona gets into the backline, but Ruler flashes. Oh my god, he gets excited, and Gwen is not immune today.
They also carried so much momentum out of MSI that they immediately became the favorites heading into Worlds, where Faker changed the narrative, but that's a different video. With multiple best of 5 wins against top LCK and LPL teams, and with the format finally demanding more from the winner, this jumps straight to first. 2024 MSI returned to China, where Gen.G ended the LPL's MSI streak. Chovy came into MSI with 4 straight LCK titles, widely considered the best performing player in the world, with a reputation for never winning internationally. Keen, Canyon, Pays, and Lehens, who were all at the top of their game, rounded out the roster. Lane swapping defined much of this event, but it never really threw Gen.G off. At their best, they feel almost unbeatable. They can play anything, they win lanes, and operate with some of the cleanest macro in the world. They went 4-0 in best of 5s, beating Fnatic 3-0, TES 3-2, and then BLG twice 3-1. Altogether, they went 9-5 against the LPL in China.
A lifetime! Chovy has waited, but he and Gen.G are your MSI champions!
Chovy finally secured his first international title, and Gen.G immediately became world's favorites. Ranking 2024 Gen.G against 2023 JDG is tough. Both teams looked dominant, both became the favorites to win Worlds after their MSI run, and both lost to T1 in the Worlds semifinals. Their records were similar, and they both won 3 best of 5s against LPL or LCK teams. So at this point, it comes down to how the runs felt. And to me, 2024 Gen.G felt slightly more dominant from start to finish, which is enough to put them on top. MSI 2025 moved to Vancouver and introduced Fearless Draft. No more finals with 5 Udyr games ever again. From an entertainment standpoint, this was the best MSI ever. Across the event, 9 series went to Game 5, smashing the previous record. It's worth noting that no tournament had ever featured as many best of 5s as MSI 2015, but still, the fact that so many were that competitive, and because of Fearless, so diverse, it made this event a treat. Gen.G entered as favorites again, maybe even heavier favorites than in 2024. They'd upgraded the roster yet again, adding back Ruler and pairing him with a still relatively inexperienced but talented support in Duro, who had an excellent first half of the year. They stayed in the upper bracket, beating G2 3-1, Anyone's Legends 3-2, and then T1 twice in a row 3-2. Before this, Gen.G had never beaten T1 in an international best of 5. Here, they did it twice.
So much hope domestically, looking to make good as Carrier tries to find the fight, but it's Guma isolated on the side, looking to take down Ruler. One more auto, but it doesn't quite have the damage. Ruler living in the clutch! Gen.G! Hold the line!
This was not the most dominant run ever, but it might have been the most difficult and the most impressive. With the state of the Gen.G vs T1 rivalry and Faker vs Chovy being the defining matchup of this era, this MSI felt huge. Champion diversity was off the charts, with every Gen.G player playing 10 or more champions, with the highlight for me being Duro's Blitzcrank in Game 5 of their AL series.
Amount of time is Hope!
Lands the hook onto Hope!
And the format is simply stronger now. 2 LPL teams and 2 LCK teams make the field better. Best of 5s are a better test than spamming best of 1s. Fearless also tests far more skills, and the overall level of play keeps getting higher every year. So even though Gen.G only went 12-7 in games, the combined experience, mastery, and level of competition on display at 2025 MSI was off the charts. There's definitely some recency bias at play, and I really like the new MSI format, so that's enough to put 2025 Gen.G at the top of my list. So that brings us to 2026. This wasn't an easy title run for HLE. They became the first MSI champion in the modern format to fight their way back through the lower bracket. Their tournament started with a convincing 3-0 win over TSW and G2 before running into BLG in the upper bracket.
And it looks to me like BLG has a date in the finals.
BLG seemed to have HLE's number, handing them a 3-1 defeat and leaving the LCK favorites just one loss away from elimination. From there, HLE overcame a tense 5-game series against Lion before getting their revenge over BLG in another 3-2 thriller to claim the title.
And it looks like the orange tank is going to bulldoze the golden road.
This championship was built on delivering when it mattered most. Despite dropping to the lower bracket, HLE had the tenacity to fight their way back and perform under the highest pressure. In fact, Finals MVP Zeus was the only player to win with top lane Mundo, Aatrox, Swain, and Sion. He truly had a one-of-one performance this MSI. So, where does HLE's 2026 title rank? Does overcoming adversity and defying the tournament meta earn them a top spot among the greatest MSI runs of all time? Let me know where you'd rank them in the comments. Once again, I'm Jatt. I post weekly on the JLXP YouTube channel, so if you enjoyed this video, come join me there for more League of Legends esports discussion. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you'd like me to rank next right here on LOL Esports.